Okay, so today is the general principle of today is the same as it was on Friday, but you're not always going to get equations that are already, all you have to do is add and subtract and get something to eliminate. Sometimes you have to manipulate the equations just a little bit to make it possible to eliminate something, okay? So for example, we have these two equations, 9x plus 9y is equal to negative 18, and 3x plus y is equal to 8. So last time we were looking for the coefficient. We look at the coefficients in front of the variables to see if we could add or subtract something and have a whole variable eliminated. But in this case, there's nothing. Like this is a 9, this is a 3, this is a 9, this is a 1. It's not going to work the way that it is. But what we can do is we can multiply one or both of the equations by a number, the whole equation, and then basically modify it so that it's in a form that causes something to be eliminated. So for example, if I multiply the bottom equation, both sides of it, by negative 3, then the coefficient of your x would become negative 9. Or if I multiplied both sides by negative 9, then the coefficient here would be negative 9, and then you'd be able to eliminate. And somebody in my other class pointed out you could divide the top equation by 3, or negative 3, and then this would be a 3x. You could eliminate that. Or you could divide both the top and the bottom by 9, or negative 9, and then these coefficients would be the same. So there's a world of possibilities here when you're looking at your system of linear equations. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to multiply that bottom equation, the whole thing, by negative 3. So what happens, okay, it is the top equation stays the same. We didn't do anything to it. And I'm going to multiply the whole bottom equation by negative 3. So this will be negative 9x, negative 3y is equal to negative 24. So every single thing in my equation gets multiplied by negative 3. Now I'm in a position where this will eliminate. This will be eliminated right here. So when I add these two equations together, 9x minus 9x has a value of 0. So we've eliminated our x's. And then we have 9y and negative 3y. So this will be positive 6y. And this will be negative 42. And then I can divide both sides by 6. And I get that y is equal to negative 7. Now I'm not gonna solve it all the way out. You guys know what to do at this point. You just take your y value and plug it in to find your x value, and then check your answer. Okay? So let's write the steps down that we just took, and then we'll practice one, and then I'll show you what happens when both equations need to be modified. Okay, so the first thing you do, and sometimes you don't need this first step, but you're going to multiply one or both of the equations and I'm just going to keep it brief by a number. And you guys know it needs to be a number that makes sense, right? To cause something to eliminate. Okay, step 2. We add or subtract the equations. Step 3, we're going to solve for the remaining variable, because once we eliminate one of the variables, we only have one left. So we can solve for the remaining variable. And then we're going to substitute in to find the other variable. Okay. I'm going to have you guys practice this now. All right, see which equation you want to manipulate and what you want to multiply it by to make something cancel out. Bless you.
To solve a little equation.
Okay. Just get quiet. You'll have to solve the whole thing when you're doing IXL, but. Okay, what'd you guys get for y? 4. I don't know what you multiplied by, but I'm going to multiply by -2. You could have also multiplied by +2 and then just subtracted instead of adding your equations, but I like to just add them, so I'm going to make it -2. I'm just putting the work down so it's in my notes. Okay, so -12x plus 12x, that has a value of 0, so the x's are eliminated. And then we have -8y is equal to -32. Divide both sides by -8, and you get y is equal to 4. Now, when you're doing your homework, you'll actually have to plug that y in to find your x so that you have an ordered pair. But for now, that's fine because it's a lot to have in your notes. Okay, I want to expose you to one more type of problem that you may see, And that's when you have to manipulate both equations to get it to in the right form. So let's say that we have these two equations right here. Okay. That's a negative 28, by the way. It kind of looks like part of the 2, but it's not. So in this case, you can't multiply just one equation by a number and then have something easily be eliminated. So in this case, we're going to have to multiply both equations by a number. So I'll multiply the top equation by something and the bottom equation by something that will allow that something to be eliminated. Okay. What I have my eye on is the x terms, because if I were to multiply the top equation by 10, this would be 60x. And if I multiply the bottom equations by 6, this would be negative 60x. Yeah, Carl?
Or you could do multiply the top equation by 5 and then the bottom equation by 3.
Excellent. Yes. Robbie?
Basically, common denominators would work in this, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Irvin?
So GC, like it's like the LCD or something, right?
Least common denominator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Least common multiple I think is the term. Because you could also multiply the top equation by 6 and the bottom equation by 8.
Yeah.
That would get you there too. And actually, you could even do the top equation by 3 and the bottom equation by 4. So there's a world of possibilities out there. So you might do something completely different than your neighbor, but you both get the right answer. So in this case, I'll multiply the top by 10, the bottom by 6. I'll just keep it super straightforward. But if you want to do your crazy stuff that you guys have in your brains, go for it. So this will be 60x minus 80y is equal to 300. And negative 60x plus 36y is equal to negative 168, I believe. Excuse me. Is that right? Yes, it is. Okay. Then I'm going to add, I can add my equations because 160 is positive, 160 is negative. And these have a value of 0, so we've eliminated these terms. And then we have negative 44y is equal to positive 132. And if I divide both sides by negative 44, we'll get y is equal to negative 3. Make sense? Okay. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I know that the IXL code takes some time because you have to work it out on your whiteboards or paper to figure it out. So I decided to reduce the IXL SMART score to 80. So just get to 80 today, okay? Don't try to kill yourself to get to 90. And you guys have the rest of the class to work on it. So let me know if you have questions. I'll walk around and help, okay? What's up, Kello?